Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be having a look at a puzzle I completely missed today. This is a Kaktuslav puzzle. I absolutely love Kaktuslav's Sudokus. They have all been incredible. It's called Wingspan, and it came out a few days ago, and I just simply didn't see that it had been released. You probably won't be surprised to know, based off the blue lines in the grid, this is just a region sumline puzzle. There's no additional rules at all. I'll explain what that means when we read the rules formally in a moment or two's time. But apparently this is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So I am very much looking forward to having a go at it. I hope I'll be able to do it. It's got 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and I am beginning this recording. Actually, I'm beginning this recording ridiculously late today. It's 4:45. I've had another of those days where life's got in the way. How can life get in the way of Sudoku solving? It's appalling, isn't it? But Maverick is about to fly over, so it's been a very nice day here, here in Surrey, for once, and spring is arriving. I think the birds are certainly calling outside. And I'm not very surprised that Maverick is flying his aeroplane around, for it must be a nice day to do that. Anyway, apologies if there's a little bit of aeroplane noise in the background. Now, before I read the rules of Kaktuslav's puzzle, though, let's talk about what else is going on, because there are one or two things. Firstly, I have scheduled the stream for Monday evening, so Mark and I are, perhaps unsurprisingly, given that every Monday for about the last 6 months we have gone to the Blueprints Mansion, we are going to be back in the Blueprints Mansion on Monday evening, 10 p.m. UK time. Love to have your company, of course. And that leads me on in a sort of a relevant segue to Blueprints the Sudoku, which is this puzzle by VFig that I mentioned yesterday. It's one that I can show you. Can I hope this will work. If I click that, will it work? Yeah. This is over on Patreon right now. It is a bonus video in which Mark and I try to tackle VFig's Blueprints themed Sudoku puzzle. This is a 5-star difficulty puzzle, and when it really is truly 5-star difficulty, the video is nearly 3 hours long. And it's both of us at the same time, working together to try and crack what is a very recalcitrant nut, but well worth every minute we spent in its company. It is an extraordinary puzzle. I've been so thrilled, actually, already by all the comments on the video from people who have been encouraged to have a go at the puzzle because they are fans of Blueprints and have, even if it's taken them, I mean, there was one comment from somebody who had taken 6 hours to solve the puzzle, but they felt that it was worth every minute devoted to it. So it's something a bit different. The rules are long. But they are very faithful to Blueprints. Anybody who's played Blueprints or been watching our streams will find no surprises there, really. Anyway, that's a little bit of a bonus that's over on Patreon at the moment, as well, of course, as our monthly competition, which is have I got? Oh, I have got it. Yeah, I've got a good tab here. This is Blobs's Indexing Sudoku Hunt. Let's have a quick refresh of the numbers here. So where were we? We were at 685 solves of puzzle 12. Did I? Oh, 687. Right, so that's not gone up much, but it will have gone up since the last video. And the reason is that my computer shut itself off overnight. And so when I turned it on about an hour ago, it would have refreshed all the numbers, the rotten thing. I like seeing the jumps, but you can see lots and lots of, 6 of the puzzles now have had 1,000 solves, which is phenomenal. Or 6 of the actual competition puzzles, that is. The intro puzzles have also had 1,000 solves. So you've still got, the closing date's the 20th, so do have a go. The puzzles are great, of course, and a chance to come on the channel and solve the puzzle for the winner. Now, any other news? Birthdays. Let me look at my list of birthdays. Liam. Liam, you've turned the big 4-0 today. I know this because your partner Claire wrote to me on Instagram, which, by the way, I will quickly mention. If you do want a birthday shout out, please email us at crackingthecryptic@gmail.com. I do get the messages on Instagram, but they are much harder to track. Sometimes Facebook sends me a message, sometimes it doesn't. I'm never quite sure. We do look at all the emails that we get. So that is definitely the safer way. Anyway, Liam, I did get Claire's message. I know that the two of you have been watching together for quite some time, so thank you for doing that. And Liam, I hope you have a great birthday today, and I hope the chocolate cake is incredibly well iced. Next, Sophia. Sophia, over there in Sweden, you've turned the big 3-0 today. And I know this because your boyfriend Dennis wrote to me. Dennis mentioned that I think the two of you have been together for 2.5 years now. And I can tell you Dennis is very happy about that, Sophia. Anyway, I hope you have a great birthday today. And I hope that the chocolate cake is good, of course. Now, somebody who's not having chocolate cake today is having carrot cake is the pie guy. And this is a very appropriate day for the pie guy to have a birthday, because it is Pi Day, isn't it? The 14th of March, 3.14. And the pie guy, it probably will surprise nobody to know, is nicknamed the pie guy because the pie guy memorized pi to 250 decimal places for a school competition. That is a lot of places. I'm just trying to think about how difficult I'd find that to do. I think I would find that very hard. So the pie guy, well done on achieving a goal that really befits your name. And I hope you have a great birthday today. I hope the carrot cake is good. I think is there a shop near your parents' house which has the best icing, if I remember correctly. Now, finally, last but certainly not least, we have a wedding happening today. Tyler and Grace. Well, Tyler's brother Aaron wrote to me. Aaron's in Ohio, to say it's the wedding today of Tyler and Grace. I'm not sure that Grace has been completely converted to variant Sudoku yet, but I'm pretty sure Tyler has. And I'm to let the newlyweds know that Aaron has created a new puzzle for you both. So I hope I hope it's I think it might be one that's been on Logic Masters, and it's very well rated if it's that one. So Tyler and Grace, enjoy that. And I'm also going to give a shout out to little Oakley. Oakley is Aaron's daughter, and earlier this month she solved her first classic Sudoku puzzle. And Oakley is aged 5. That is very impressive indeed. So Oakley, well done on that. I hope you've started a hobby. And I hope you enjoyed solving your first puzzle. I'm very, very impressed with that. And I hope that you've picked up a habit for life, and it will bring you much, much pleasure. And it's definitely a reason to have some cake, Oakley. So I hope that your daddy got you a very, very nice cake to celebrate. And that's all the news. All right, should we have a look at the rules of Wingspan by Kaktuslav? The rules are not going to take very long to read. They're probably less than 20 words long. Anyway, let's read them together. What do we have to do? We've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. And then we've got the 3x3 box borders divide each blue line into segments with the same sum. So let's look at this line. So those three would form a segment, wouldn't they? These two would form a segment, those two would form a segment, and those two, oh, whoopsie, those two would form a segment. So what that's effectively saying is that you add these three green ones together, you get some number. That should be the same total as that those two yellow ones add up to, should be the same total as those two red ones add up to, should be the same total as those two purple ones add up to. And they are all the rules, literally all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So, what should we do first? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to say one thing first. I think I probably want to look at that line first, but the other thing I'm going to mention is the prolific symmetry that exists in this puzzle, which I think is only broken there. I might be wrong. I'm just going to draw a line in. So if we draw a line down the negative diagonal, I should say, and we imagine you folded the grid along that crease. Imagine we applied origami to the grid. I think all the lines would exactly hit each other, with the exception that this is not reflected here. So this is the only point of where the symmetry breaks. Now, what does that mean for me as a solver? What it means is that if I find some logic that applies to this cell, for example, and I've never considered this cell in the puzzle, I should definitely be trying to apply that logic here, because there should be a lot of logic that applies, that anything that applies up there should apply down here in the same way, unless and until you get this cell, which is, I think, going to be a disambiguator, probably at a late stage. What you never know when you tackle a puzzle with extreme symmetry, and I would say this does have extreme symmetry, you don't know when during the solve this is going to happen. Is it going to be really late in the solve? In which case you might have to keep a lot in your head about how the symmetry is breaking, or if it's early in the solve, things can get easier. But how many? No, see this line here, it's a length 3 line versus a length 2 line. There's only 2 digits there, isn't there? So that is very unlikely to be an easy line to solve, I think. I mean, to me it looks like it must be the secret to start this. It must be something to do with, those two rows and columns. So let's have a think about that. What do we know? We know that it's going to depend on that digit, obviously. So the sum of, what's the sum of those digits? Well, the answer to that is it depends. We can almost use the Sudoku secret, but we can't quite. The secret of Sudoku, for those of you who don't know, it's something I share with only my very favourite people. But of course I'm going to tell you what the secret is if you're watching this video, because you're definitely one of my favourite people. The secret of Sudoku, the secret of Sudoku is the sum of any box of a Sudoku, which is obviously the same as any row of a Sudoku or any column of a Sudoku, because all of these things contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. And the digits 1 to 9, if you sum them, sum to 45. So we actually know that this row and this column sum to 90 overall. Oh, hang on, Maverick's getting very low there. But these green cells don't sum to 90, because this cell's included both in row 1, so row 1 sums to 45, and column 1 sums to 45. But of course, in doing the whole of row 1 and the whole of column 1, we've included this cell twice in effect. So these green cells don't sum to 90, they sum to 90 minus this digit. Yeah, okay, right, but actually what I want to work out is not the sum of the green cells, is it? I want to work out the sum of these green cells, because I want to know what the line sums to. So this line sums to 90 minus 2 lots of that digit. So does that have to be 5 then? Is that what I'm being told? That's quite that is quite clever. Not of me. Yeah, because look, this line has 5 segments on it. This is let me do this in a better way to show that. There we go. There are 5 different segments. So I know the sum of the digits. If we were to add whatever this is, well, let's say this added up to x, then this line obviously sums to 5x, doesn't it? So I know that 90 minus 2 times this digit must equal a number that is divisible by 5. Numbers that are divisible by 5 are going to require this to be a 5, because if 90 itself is divisible by 5, so we're going to have to put a number in here, 2 times which is itself divisible by 5, which is, oh, my watch is buzzing at me. My watch always buzzes at me at 5 o'clock in the evening. I don't know why. So this is going to have to be a 5. If we made it any other digit and deducted 2 of that digit from 90, we wouldn't get a number that's divisible by 5, because the only numbers divisible by 5 are going to end in 0 or 5. So this is 5, and now we're deducting 10 from 90, which is 80. So if that's x, if this indigo segment is x, 5x equals 80 means x is 16. So that's actually not that restricted, is it? I was wondering whether 2, 3... No, 2, 3, 4, 7 is fine. I was wondering whether you might have to have a 1 on there, but that's just, you don't at all. Oh, bobbins, I don't know then. Right, let's get rid of the colours. I don't think the colours are adding anything. We've just got to remember that each one of these adds up to 16, which means that 16. Yes, okay, so we can get this. We can get that domino, can't we? We're 32 plus 5 is 37. Right, this domino here. Right, that is useful. Right, this domino here adds up to 8 by the maths, not of the whole line, but by the maths of row 1. Because 16 plus 16 is 32. We know the whole row sums to 45, so these add up to 13, and that's a 5. So that adds up to 8. But we can just reverse that, can't we? Remembering our line of symmetry, we know that logic that we've just used to get this domino must also give us the total of this domino, which is also 8. Now that is interesting, because how many ways in Sudoku are there of making dominoes sum to 8? There's 3. But one of them is 3, 5, and that's impossible. Neither yellow nor orange dominoes can be 3, 5 because of the 5 already in the box. So these digits are 1, 7 and 2, 6 in some order. So these digits are different to those digits. So they are 3, 3, 4, 8, 9. 3, 4, 8, 9. And 3 of those are on... Ooh, wait then. This is going to have to be massive. You can't have 8 and 9 on this line. Because if you did have 8, this domino, we know this domino adds up to those 3 digits. Well, the maximum sum of the green domino would be if they were 8 and 9. So imagine this had 8 and 9 on it. Then there's no way this domino could be big enough. So this must be an 8 or a 9. And yeah, actually the maximum size of the green domino is 15, isn't it? 50, that's it. Right, lovely, lovely. Beautiful. So okay, let me try and explain this. I've got a domino here that sums to, let's say, X again. That this sums to X. This purple domino sums to X, and this diagonal, I'll call it a domino, but this diagonal segment also sums to X. Now, what would happen if X was so large that there was only one Sudoku combination of numbers that worked? So imagine that green was an 8-9 pair. Well, then purple would be 8-9, and these would be 8-9, and we'd have 3 of the digits. These 3 cells would only contain 2 different numbers, and therefore Sudoku would break in column 4. You can't do that. There needs to be at least 2 ways of making the segment total, so that whatever this is, so imagine this was 15. 15 would work because this could be 7, 8, and then this doesn't have to be 7, 8, it could be 6, 9. But it wouldn't work if this was 16 or 17 because there's only one Sudoku combination for each of those totals, 9, 8, and 9, 7. So the maximum size of green is 15, but the minimum size of those three digits is 15 actually if they were 3, 4, 8. So they must be 3, 4, 8, and we get a 9 here. Now, so if that's true, and it is, this, each of green and purple, well, okay, we're going to have to change our colouring a bit here. Because we now know that this green sums up to 15, which means it's either 6, 9, which would have to be that way round, or it's 7, 8. Now, let's just think about, we know this version of 15 can't be the same as the green version, because imagine this was 7, 8, then, and this was 7, 8, again, we'd have the same problem. So this is a different version of 15, but now this has to be green again, because if this was the purple version, we'd have 3 of the same digit, or these 3 cells would be selected from only 2 different digits. So that is green. No, I was about to say those two. No, those 2 digits are the same if green is a 6, 9 pair. 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, and these are 6, 7s, 8s, 9s. And we're closing in on the disambiguator. But what does this mean? Do we have to look at that line at some stage? I mean, I'm sure we will at some stage. At this stage would be a better way of describing it. What was the total for this was 16, wasn't it? So let's say that was 7, 8. Oh, but you could put 7 there. Oh, and actually you could even have 7 and 8 on the same 3-cell segment, because it could be 1, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, here is a tiny point in row 1. I've not thought about 9s and 8s in row 1. What I can tell you is that 9 and 8 is not, they're not in the same segment, because obviously 9 plus 8 is bigger than the 16 segments that we're looking for. So 9 and 8 are going to be in separate segments. Right. Right, hang on. I know that's doing something. I just need to figure out what. Hang on, let me just think this through. It's the 8 segment I'm interested in, actually. And let me try and explain why. I don't quite know how to do this, but there's something going on with the 8 segments, because wherever I put the 8 in row 1, and therefore in column 1, it's got to be accompanied by 2 digits that sum to 8. Now, those are going to be orange. They're going to be that domino. So, there's something here. But in this column, the 8's going to be accompanied by the yellow domino. So what does that mean? So that means that the 9 in row 1 and the 9 in column 1 doesn't have access to the digits 1, 2, 6 and 7 in order to get up to the 16 it needs to get to. So the 9 is going to be with 3 and 4. So so there's going to be a 9, 3, 4 segment that's either there or there. And in this column, there's a 9, 3, 4 segment that's either there or there. And then in this row, there's an 8 segment with the 2 oranges. And in this column, there's an 8 segment with the 2 yellows to get up to the 16 that we need. So what does that mean? I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. I really don't know what that means. It must mean something. And is it... I know that green is the same. So if green was 7, 8, then neither of these could be the 8 segment. So they'd have to both be 9, 3, 4 segments. That might break for some reason. Or if this is 6, 9... that won't work. Oh, that's weird. That's not how I thought it was going to work at all. That's really beautiful. Kaktuslav is a total genius. We've had some incredible puzzles this week, not just the blueprints one I mentioned earlier by VFig. Marty's Rat Run this week. That was extraordinary. And then I did, Fool on Hill's puzzle yesterday was extraordinary. But there was another one I did as well that was extraordinary. I've done 3. I know the last 3 puzzles I've done on the channel have all been extraordinary. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I don't think green can be 6, 9. And let me try and explain why. Remember that if green is 6, 9, both greens are 6, 9. So that's going to make this 9, 3, 4 and this 9, 3, 4. But that means this and this, these 2 segments here, both contain the 8 in their row and column respectively. But we know one 8 is going with 2, 6. I don't know which one, because I don't know whether yellow or orange is the 2, 6, but whichever one has got 2, 6 in it is going to stop green being 6, 9, which is where we started this this idea from. So green simply can't be 6, 9. It won't work. So green is 7, 8, which means this purple is 6, 9. Now this is good. This is good because now this and this both have to be 3, 4, 9. These 8 segments, which are now at the end of their particular rows and columns, this is going to be impossible. I'm going to do this in the most awful way. I hate myself for doing this. But this one, that can't have yellow as a way of getting to 8, because it's got 8 and it needs 2 more cells that add to 8. That can't be the yellow domino and can't be 3, 5. So it's got 2 orange digits in it. This has got 2 yellow digits in it. And I don't know if there's a better way of representing that, but that's what's going on. Now, what does that do? So these digits and these digits are 1, 2, 5, 6, I think. So this can't be a 5, 6 pair because that would have to be an 11. Oh, this can't be a 1 or a 2 because it's adding 2 different numbers together. So that's relatively straightforward, actually. And the same must be true there, mustn't it? Now, so this sum is it could be as low as 3, perhaps. If this was a 1, 2 pair. If it wasn't a 1, 2 pair, you'd be adding 5 to at least 1. So this could be a 6, a 7. It can't be 8 because I know 8's in this world. Can it be 9? No. No, it can't. So let's copy this 3, 6, 7 down there without having to rethink it. We don't need to recapitulate something that's just across the symmetry line. So what does that mean? I don't know. Okay, there's a simple point, isn't there? Where's 9 in row 2? We can do that. It can't go there because it's on a 2-cell segment adding up to a single digit, which is definitely not a double-digit number. So I think we can put 9 in here, and presumably that must work the same way in column 2. So it might well be this thing that we've got to think about. No, it's not. There's one more thing I can see here. That's not 5, for rather a pretty reason. If this digit, let's make it red for a moment, imagine that was 5, where would it go in box 3? I think the answer's nowhere. It definitely can't be here. No, it really can't be here. I pencil mark this for 3, 6, 7, I mean the critical thing is it can't be 5 because they can't be 1, 4 or 2, 3. So this digit couldn't go on its own region sum line because if this digit was here, this would be a 0. And it's definitely not there. So if this is 5, you simply can't put 5 in box 3. So red is 6. Let's get rid of the red as a result. Now that logic must be symmetrical, so that's a 6. We can get rid of 6 from a lot of places, and that might impact what this can be. It can... no, it doesn't. Bother. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so it's going to be... what's it going to be? Is it this cell to work out what the total is for this line? This digit... well... hang on, that's... Hang on, hang on, hang on. Is that digit a 3? It's my question. Is that digit a 3? I think it's a 3. Because this has to have the same total. Because it's the same line. Now, obviously, there's a common 9 in these two cell strings, so this digit is the same as this digit. But how to explain this? Let's just look at the red digit, knowing that this digit, whatever it is also there. So it sees all of the 1, 2, 6, 7 digits because they're either there or there. So red being in both of these positions sees all of 1, 2, 6, and 7. But the sixes are beautiful here because the 6 has two ways of making its total add up to 6, 1, 5 or 2, 4. So this is 1, 5 or 2, 4. But orange here is either going to be, it's going to use a 1 or a 2 because it's either 1, 7 or it's 2, 6. Now, whichever orange uses of the low digits, the yellow low digit will be on here in one of those two positions. And the orange low digit will be on here in one of those two positions, which means that the 4 or the 5 on this domino is different from the 4 and the 5 on, I said domino, but the 4 and the 5 on this segment here is different from the 4 and the 5 on the segment down there, which means this cell, the red cell, also sees 4, 5. So now it sees 1, 2, it doesn't see 3, it sees 4, 5, it sees 6, 7, and it sees 8, and it sees 9. So it is 3. That's weird. That's quite magical. Oh, right. Where's 3 in box 1? There, by Sudoku. Let's award that digit, that cell, with its own colour. This is now a 12 segment. That's so beautiful, Kaktuslav. That digit, oh, actually, hang on now. These digits, that digit is not 3. That digit's not 3. So now this digit is yellow, and that digit is orange, because the orange, say orange was 2, 6, this clearly would be part of a 1. This would be a 7, and that would be a yellow digit. So this digit, this digit's 4 or 5. It's whatever's not used on this line. So that digit's 4 or 5 as well. But these are different. So this digit can't be a 4 or a 5. That might be something we want to actually... Do I want to start colouring the 6 lines for the 4 5s? What about that grey? Is that grey? Is that an anachronism now? That grey is an anachronism. It's not serving any purpose, is it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether to colour this. I think I will reserve my colours for a moment. But I might, if I get stuck, I'm going to colour this. Yeah, hang on. Let's just think about this line. So this line's now got segments that sum to 12. which presumably must... that's gorgeous. I tell you why that's gorgeous. Because that's a 4-cell segment down here that sums to 12 that doesn't have a 3 on it. And there are 2 ways of making 4 different Sudoku numbers sum to 12. One of them is 1, 2, 3, 6, which is now not possible. So that's 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, more mentions of 4 5s. So sorry, this is probably obvious to everybody and I can't see how to do it. What does that do? So 3 and 9 have to be on these cells now. That's definitely true in some way. And I know that this adds up to 12. Do I know what that's got in? I know it can't have 8 on it. That's true. Because if it had 8 on it, it would be 8, 1, 3. That would be the only way of making the extra 4 you'd need. So 8 in the column and in the row is either there or there or there. But I don't know what really to do with that. Sorry, as you can probably all see what I meant to do here. Probably colour 4s and 5s. Is there some way I know that I've got double orange and double yellow, but this green has either got yellow or orange on it, because yellow or orange is 1, 7, but I don't know which one, and obviously that then is going to colour this domino. Oh, I see, so 6 is going to be one of them as well. Yeah, see 7 and 8 in box 5, is that maybe a point? They've got to be in those cells. And so whatever that digit is... Yeah, I probably have to do maths here somehow, don't I? Just very reluctant to do it. Oh dear, is this really what I've been reduced to? Yeah, I think I will have to think this through. So how on earth do I think this... How do I think this through? I tell you what I do know, I suppose. I know the total of that entire line, and I do know the total of that entire line as well, because now I know this has 12 segments on it. It's got 5 12 segments, hasn't it? So that line sums to 60. This line sums to 80. So that's 140. But what am I trying to do here? Am I trying to relate this to 180 somehow? i.e. 4 lots of 45. Is that what I'm trying to do? See that, but that's tricky, because to do that, I'm going to be counting these corner cells twice. Well, I'm wondering if I've got to use the perimeter, just to try and explain what I mean there. So the perimeter of a Sudoku, it doesn't add up to 4 lots of 45, because each row and column if you include all the 9 cells, sums to 45. But obviously, if they sum to 45 and those cells also sum to 45, you've included this cell twice in working out what those and those. You can't say that these, or you can't say that those, how to put this, those 17 cells sum to 90, because they don't, because you've included that one twice. So the whole perimeter is 180 minus each of the corners. So how do we do this? So, okay, so if I was to try to build up then to 180, how would I do it? I would add up these two lines. That will get me, what was it? 60 plus 80. That gets me to 140. It gets me to 140. But I've not if I'm trying to get to 180, which is that, separately that, separately that, separately that. To get to 180, I need to add this digit twice, because that digit is both in row 1 and in column 1. So that's 10. So that gets me to 100 and, where was I? 141, 150 now. I need to add those two digits another once each, because I included them on this line, but they need to be included again. And I need to include that digit twice. But I tell you what I do know. I do know something about 8s, don't I? Because I do know that 8 in this column is either there or there. And 8 in this row is either there or there. So either these are both 8 or that is 8. So I can add 2 8s to my 150, which is another 16. So that's 166. And I'm still 14 short. And the 14 short that I am is either going to be, it's either going to be this being double 7, or it's going to be these two adding up to 14, but not using 8, because if these two are adding up to 14, that means I've put 8 in this corner. So this would have to be double 7. So the only way of doing the corners to make the perimeter have the correct total is to have these cells. I don't know the order of this, but either you've got double 8 here and 7 in this corner, or you've got 8 here and double 7 in the other corners. But that is useful. That is useful, because now I've got a 7-8 pair in column 9 and row 9. So 6 has to be on that segment. Along with, of course, along with either 1 5 or 2 4 in each case. And are they? Oh, yeah, they are going to be different. Oh, good grief! Right. Oh, this is. So these have to add up to 6. Yeah, this is weird. This is weird. Right, because imagine this, just go with me here. If this was 624, this couldn't also be 624, because then you couldn't put 2 and 4 in this 1 2 4 5. quadruple in box 9. So if this is 624, this is 615. And if this is 615, that will be 15. And if this is 624, that will be 24. So each of these little dominoes here sums to 6, which is the same as what's going on up there. But is there a way to relate that? So I know that this is a domino that adds to 6. I don't think that there is. I mean, I could be wrong about that, though. My brain isn't clever enough to tell me whether I know that this has got yellow on it or not. I'm not sure. But okay, but one thing I do know, yeah, I'm going to change tack slightly. I'm a bit confused by my 1, 2, 4, 5s and how they interact with each other. But I do know something different about these cells. These cells are now 3, 6, 9, and whatever is not used here. So these are great big old digits, and I'm going to claim something here, I think. Yeah, we're going to have to be, this is a 9, isn't it? We've got to be incredibly careful, because these 3 digits, I'm running out of colours, I haven't used grey, or if I have, I'll reuse it. So these 3 digits sum up to something, and the digits we're choosing from for that 3-cell grey section are 3, 6, 9, and 7 or 8. So what is the absolute minimum total we could make that sum to? Well, we could have a 3, a 6, and a 7, I think, would be the absolute minimum. But that's... that is already 16. And we know that this domino can't add to more than 17. So if we were to include 9 on this segment, then the minimum it could be would be 3 plus 6 plus 9, which is 18. So there can't be 9 on that segment. This has to be 9. But I know this domino contains 9 because I know that the minimum sum of grey is 16. And 16 would be a 9-7 pair. You can't make 16 with double 8 because it'll break Sudoku. So both of those have to be 9. How many 9s have we got now? Oh, yeah, I've got to be careful again with my... Oh no, hang on. Oh, that doesn't... Okay, so they aren't resolved. I've got 3 more left. And they're in a sort of weird pattern. But let me just come back to this. So this definitely has 3 and 6 on it, and 1 of 7 and 8. And these digits, well, they are from 7 and 8, and those digits are the same, because obviously that segment is the same as that segment. So whatever that digit is, let's say it was 7, where does it go in the middle box? It would be in the middle. So that middle digit is 7 or 8, and is the same as these 3 digits. So it's definitely a green digit. Oh, do I have... I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to flavour my greens. I'm going to double greenify them. Now, where is... Yeah, this is good. Right. Look at box 9 now. Where is the dark green? Now, remember grey has 3 and 6 on it. Now, 3 and 6 sum to 9. So the 3 and the 6 are sort of offset, if you like, by the 9 we have on these segments, which means that the 7 or 8 here is the same as this green 7 or 8, which means it goes exactly there. That is beautiful. This has to not... So this is 7 or 8. This is a 3-6 pair. This is lime green, which means these two are both dark green. which means... No, I was going to say that lime green is on there, but it's not, because it could be there. Bother. Bother. Sorry, okay. Okay. Oh, that got very exciting for a moment, and now I... Oh, no, it's simple. Oh, Kaktuslav, you are just a brilliant, brilliant person. Look at box 1. Look at box 1. I've worked out, quite diligently for me, that both of these are dark green. So where does dark green go in box 1? Remember, it's a 7 or an 8. It's got to be in one of the... It's got to be the 8, hasn't it? Because, of course, these cells are effectively seeing the digits 1, 2, 6 and 7 from box 1. And given they're the same digit, one of these, either yellow or orange, includes 7 and we'll be looking at these digits. So these are 8s. So these are 8s. Lime is 7. This is 8. This is 8. This is 8. This is 8. Right. Now what is that? So that's definitely not... so this is now a perfect orange pair. This is a perfect green. This is a perfect green. This is a perfect yellow pair. Doesn't include 8. Now, what does that do? Not sure. But probably does something. I'm looking around the grid going, okay, well, that must do something very profound apart from give me a few 8s. Does it? Does it not? Oh dear. Oh, sorry. I've stopped talking because I can't see what to do. Okay. Teen. We could... I don't know what... No, I really don't know what to do. Oh, okay. Now I've got one more thing I can do. Oh, silly Simon. This might have been available for a while. I didn't spot it. Where's lime green in this box? Not a question I've been considering, but now I do consider it. It's got to be there in that domino. And the same is going to be true by symmetry down here, isn't it? So actually, I'm going to get this digit, and I'm going to get the disambiguator as a result of that. Yeah, because lime green is 7, remember? So we've got 7s ruled out of these cells. None of these can be 8. So this has become a 7 and a lime green, a perfect lime green. And now this line, this break in the symmetry, we've got 17 here, 15 here, so this is a 2, which is presumably going to be... That's got to have done something quite profound, I think. What else do I need in this box? 1, 3, 4, 5. Let's just... Oh, I mean, it's a dreadful... I don't like doing pencil marks like that because they just confuse me. What has that... What is... 6 there. I didn't see that couldn't be 6. So yeah, look, see, there's certain digits I could have removed from this excessively pencil-marked grid. 1, 3, 4, 5 in this column. This 2 must do something, mustn't it? It affects this digit, which is on a 2-cell segment. So why does that matter? If this was 1, would we care? That would make that a 6, wouldn't it? Because if that's 1, you can't, whatever this is, it can't get up to 7 anymore. So that's probably, so 1, 6 would be, this would be a 5, that would be a 4, that would be a 1, 5. So this would be 1, 7. No, that doesn't work. That's okay. There's something weird going on there. Then I think it's to do with that digit. How does that actually work? Hang on. Let me just think this through. I could see it didn't work, but it felt a bit chainy to me, and I'm certain with Kaktuslav that I won't need to chain it. There will be some way of articulating this, which when I understand it will be like, that's what I should have seen. So how am I meant to think this through? So that's yellow. Oh yeah, no, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Let me just check that I'm right about this, though. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. It's sort of this digit, but it's also this digit. So, this is, again, the way this works, once you see it in the correct way, it's so gorgeous. I'm going to start with this digit, actually, rather than this one. I'm going to say, can that be a 7? And I'm going to note that if it's 7, the orange pair obviously becomes 2, 6, doesn't it? So if this is 7, our orange pair is 2, 6. But if this is 7, how do we make this domino add up to 7? Well, we know this couldn't be a 1. This would have to be a 5, 2, wouldn't it? And this would actually be our orange pair then. It would be a 6, 2 pair, looking at itself in the form of orange. So if this is 7, orange is 2, 6, but this is 2, 6, double orange, and that's 2, 6, double orange, and this cell is, well, it doesn't, you can see you've got 3 digits there in row 3 selected from the same coterie of 2-digitness, the 2, 6 pair. So this has to be 6 is what I'm going to claim. Now that is going to, I think, be profound because now we know that this is in fact 2, 6, don't we? So that, because once we know that we knew this was a yellow digit, and we know that each of these dominoes adds up to 8, so we get a 1, 7 in the 4, so that's a 7, and the symmetry has been broken by this 2 effectively. We know that this is going to be a 2, 4 pair because it's got to have the little yellow digit on it. So this is a 5. So this domino is going to be 1, 5, and I actually know the order. So that becomes 2, and that becomes a 2, 4. I really hope that I haven't made a ricket here. It suddenly feels like it's just really opened up the puzzle, this. That's a 6, and that's a 3. Now we know that the low digit on here, on this 6, is going to be the 1. So this is 1, 5. Oh, if that's 2, 6, look, so that's 6, that's 2. This 7 is going to require a 2, 5 pair, and we can see the order that's going to have to go in. So 5, 2, 5, 1, 4. That's a 7, that's an 8. This should be doable, a 1. There's probably all sorts of Sudoku I can do in the middle of the grid here. Let me just see if we can keep going, though. Still struggling a little bit with my voice after my cold, but hopefully you can forgive me. Oh, yeah, that's going to be 6. That's going to be 2. Now, what does all this mean? Not sure yet, but hopefully something. This can't be 5. Oh, can't be 5. It sees 5. This can't be 5. So the column 6 has a 1, 3, 4 triple left to place. This digit is a 4 or a 5 now. Oh, that digit can't be 7. I've got a 7 here, so that's a 7. Is that going to be useful? We know that domino added up to 6. I worked that out, so this has got to be a low digit. That's got to be a low digit. I suppose, okay. And then what do I need in row 3, 4, 5? Oh, bother. 3, 4, 5 in this row, and apparently that's not resolved. That can't be a 1, though. That can't be a 1 or a 2. I was about to ask where 9 went in column 5, and then I realised it's in purple, so it could go in either position. Okay. So there might be some clevernesses that we still need to perform here. This 1 is taking 1 out of this cell. That does give me a 3, 4 pair in this column, so that gets me a 1 down here. Right, that's going to do almost nothing, but... Oh, actually, no. If this is a 1, this domino adds up to 6, remember? So that's got to be a 2, 4 pair. I know the order. 4, 2, 5, 1. Right, so we can take 1 and 5 out of here. So this becomes 2, 4, 6, and that's a nice digit now. 4, 6, 2. 3 over here. 3 can come out of both of those cells, as can 4. So this is a 5, 1 pair. Now, oh, the 6 is nice. Yes, that's done some thingies for me. That's got me my remaining 9s. 4, 4, 3. Now this row needs 3, 7. Yes, I can do it. 3, 7, 7, 1, 1. 5, I presume. Looks good. That does look good from a Sudoku perspective, which is always something of a relief, isn't it? This is a 3. This is a 4. So that's a 5. Yeah, this is going to work. 6, 5. I mean, I've made a bit of a horlicks of my colouring, so let's just try and amend some of that. I need a... Oh, actually, yeah, everything's got a bit horlicksed here. Because I've got 7s in orange. All my 1s should really be orange. All my 7s should probably be... they should probably be orange, just to make everything consistent. All my 2s should be yellow. All my 6s should be yellow. Which means not purple, I suppose. 9, I would like to make 9 purple, if that's okay. And what have I... Okay, 6 was not really meant to be grey. 3 was red at some stage in my colouring, so let's try and improve that. We've got no 3s in the corner, did we? That's not... Oh, hang on, what's going on there? Why was that? Oh, that might have been just... I wasn't sure. I knew the low digit was on one of those 2, but I didn't know which one. That should be entirely... So 4's never earned a colour. 8's got a colour. 4s and 5s didn't get a colour. That's weird. I don't think they did that. Oh, and I could have given them a colour at some stage. I did talk about giving them a colour and then never did it. Well, let's put that right. Goodness. There we go. Oh. And see if it's correct. And it is. And that was absolutely magnificent. How long did it take me? 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I didn't find that easy at all. But I did find it just so beautiful. There were 2 or 3 points during that solve, which this 3, noting that saw every other digit, was mad. That was so beautiful. And there was another point which was just incredible as well. I'm trying to, let me just try. Oh, yeah. I know what it was. It was working out that that would be double orange, and it would see double orange there as a result of the disambiguating 2. Kaktuslav is a genius, absolute genius. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.